Okay, welcome to the members of the Chess Club of Fairfield County to this second video. This video series is devoted to my first book, the Qd8 Scandinavian, Simple and Strong, which is available in the CCFC shop. And it's really about having an opening that is, um, sort of liquidates the tactics and, you know, um, it's a positional opening, and very often is an opening that will lead to an endgame, and where one can sort of focus one's play on that particular style, on a sort of positional endgame type of play, sort of a technical kind of play, rather than having to deal with, um, a lot of memorized sharp lines in after e4 in almost just about every other opening that I can think of. The Alekhine's defense, the Peart's defense, the e4, e5 lines, those can all get very, very sharp. And I think that the Queen d8 Scandinavian is really an opening that allows black to bypass a lot of that character of play very early. And so, as I said in the first video, it was very effective for me when I was trying to get my 300 games at 2200, and I was playing at the time a lot of hungry young experts who were very tactically gifted and were studying a lot of opening theory. And this really allowed me to sort of get through those games consistently. And I played it almost every game during that period against e4, and rare. It was very rare for me to lose a game. And again, that's not so much a comment about that's not about me so much as I think that the opening really lends itself to that kind of very solid results. So this game is against expert at the time, Kapil Chandran, who went on to become, I believe, a 2500 level player, and very, very strong, of course. But at the time, he was a young and very talented expert. And we see this move a6 again. And I mentioned in the last video that we were going to look at what happens if white simply allows b5 to be played, because in the last video I had the move a4. And so the nice little detail here is that black can just push c5 right away. Right? He gets rid of his backwards pawn. He trades the center pawn. He's going to liquidate queens and get into an ending. And the thing is that it's not a pawn sacrifice, right? And this is going to catch your opponents off guard, because they might think when they're sort of looking at the position in their mind's eye that, well, black can't play c5, but actually you can play c5 right away, because you take off the queen, and then this pawn simply can't be defended. e6. Remember, the black bishop is being fianchettoed on that beautiful long diagonal, and that c pawn just can't be defended. And if white needs to attack it again, for example, bishop e3 can be met with knight to e4, let's say, and this pawn just is just going to drop. And then, black can consider taking the two-bishop advantage right away, and this bishop is going to be unopposed on this long diagonal. And so black just has a very harmonious setup, and it's not difficult to achieve it. So just one of the reasons why I was so attracted to this opening. Okay, but in this game, Kapil, after a6, Kapil played bishop b3 as a preemptive measure. And so here I sort of just changed tact and played knight c6 with tempo, like I did in the last game, attacking the d4 pawn. And then I just went right after the bishop knight a5. And, black is going to take the two bishops and in an open position. So I think that, black is just very comfortable already. I mean, no problems. I like the black position already. Knight f3, I just took his bishop and just developed my bishop outside the pawn chain, and then played e6. Right, so this is a very typical pattern. The bishop comes outside the pawns, and then you just push your pawn to e6. You have a very solid position, and I have the two bishops, and I think black is doing very well.